Dun, 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 dun. It says preparing to live stream the webinar. Hopefully all the children are off the internet, and we will be live. There we go.
There we go.
We are on YouTube. Live. We are live. Sorry for the delay, guys. We were just trying to get I don't know, the internet working. it's always a problem. Oh, let me turn the volume down so we don't have like a strange delay effect. So, hey guys, how are you doing? We'll give you time to join us and get chatting. And yes, there we go. Wow, we're off to a great start.
Yes,
I don't know what I'm saying.
Start.
Oh, there we go. I didn't want to lose the chat. Okay, awesome. So how is everybody doing today? Welcome to Tangent Show number 10.
Oh my gosh.
That's wow. I don't know how we're going to count it next week. We're going to struggle.
I need to grow a sixth finger.
A sixth finger. Yeah. Hi, Jay. Hi. No, I'm not going to go where I was going to go there. But that was, hi, Jay. Hi, Emily. Hi, Jessica. Hope you guys are all doing marvelously well on this fantastic Friday afternoon. Well, it's Friday.
Wow.
Are we going to go party tonight?
Yeah.
You've been kind of sick. You're dying and just sort of recovering. Send thoughts and prayers to Isaac, this spaghetti monster. Mekti has a question about the royalties on his ebook. Post that in our KDP group, because that would be a really good question for us to answer in the KDP group. And there's a lot of people who are selling ebooks, because that's an ebook question right there. So I recommend asking that one in our KDP group. So we've got a busy show lined up today. We've got Nerd Corner coming up. We've got Platform of the Week, Niche Hunting. Oh, it's a good one. Big Debate, cool stuff. Lots of things. Oh, and I've got a Bobcat parcel.
Okay, all right.
Are we ready for a Bobcat?
I've
had some good stuff recently, actually. I had this pretty necklace came from Bobcat. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little heart. I thought that was rather cute. See, that's actually kind of cute for Bobcat.
And yes, and if this is your first time watching the show, you want to give everyone a quick intro to Bobcat?
So what Bobcat is, basically I paid them $20 every month, which Isaac's very pleased about. You're like, wow, that's amazing. You pay these people $20 a month, and they basically surf websites like Wish, Alibaba, Amazon, I don't know, and they send me a bunch of tat. So they spend the $20 on tat that their robots think I like.
Yes.
So it's like a robot personal shopper. And some of the things that have come from Bobcat are nothing short of just amazing. We've had sprinkles.
Yes.
Like glitter. We've had fans.
Fans?
They're like
actually,
buttons.
I have not seen these yet.
Yeah, they're quite cute actually. They're like beads.
They're like little
or buttons.
Fans that
I think you could sew them onto something and use them as buttons.
Okay.
We've got half a cat. Okay, so let's see what's
what
in
do we
this
get
one.
today?
Okay. I'm gonna open this. There we go. Okay. I don't know. Oh, it says it's a cookie tool. I think it's a pig. I think we've got a pig.
Hey.
Wait, no, it's a rhino.
A rhino.
It's to make tiny rhino cookies.
Oh my gosh, or pancakes.
Oh, tiny pancakes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. Jay's saying he loves Tangent. He wishes he had the ability to upload PDFs in the template builder.
Okay.
Hang in there, Jay. Guys, if you have suggestions for Tangent templates, so quick plug, blatant plug.
Yeah.
We have a product called Tangent Templates that allows you to make books on KDP super quickly. It came out a year ago before this, like everyone's kind of buzzing about KDP now. But yeah, we brought Tangent Templates out. It's been growing over the last year like crazy. We've been adding a lot of features to it. If you would like to see more features in Tangent Templates, email us at support@tangent.rocks. We are more than happy to consider your suggestions. We're doing our best to sort of put them in there, implement them. But we have a long list.
We have a
very long wish list. So people are like, can you add this template? Can you add this feature? Can you add this? We're working on a lot of them. So if you have a suggestion, like the one you have, Jay, do send us an email. But we are aware of that one. And it is something we are looking into. We'll leave it there. We'll say we're aware of that idea. And so do send your suggestions to us. We do read all of them. But yeah, it's a long list. So yeah. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We've done Bobcat in a box. Okay. Oh, you did an awesome thing this week.
I did. I made a really quick video.
Let's share what you did. You made a really awesome video. It's getting some really good feedback from people. Let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong page there. Hold on. Oh, it's so difficult. Technology. It's always technology. There we go. Okay. So you made this awesome thing last week. This video. I don't know if people can see how this is going. You see that? That's pretty cool. It's going.
You got it. Yeah, let me see it.
If you move it around, no, it's working. It's working. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
So if you scroll around.
So Facebook, they've added this feature about 6 months ago where you can create 3D photos, and the feature was only available for iPhone users that had 2 cameras in the back, because you need 2 cameras to make a 3D photo. Well, people have been kind of creating this hack where they take a black and white photo and they merge it into a regular 2D photo and convert it into a 3D image. Well, Facebook, super smart, they caught on to this and they just made it super easy where now anybody has the ability to create their own 3D photos. So essentially you can take any 2D image, such as a book cover, and you can convert it into a 3D photo on Facebook. And so here's an example.
Can I show you what this lady did?
Yeah.
She says, I'm not going to lie, this has been the most fun I've had in a while. I've made a few. And she says she's hoping it might help her get a job.
Oh, that's
so I clicked over to her profile. I really hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. Because I was so impressed by what she did. They are public though. Look, she made her own.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That is.
So like, you don't just need to do this. Look, she did these as well. You don't just need to do these for your book covers. Like, you can use this 3D technology for all kinds of things. You can use it for book covers. You can use it for advertising your products.
Viral memes.
For making memes. Like all kinds of things. So it's really pretty powerful.
So if you haven't seen it, I created a quick video on this channel.
On this channel, on the YouTube channel.
And I walked through the process of creating a 3D image in Photoshop.
So there you go. So just a heads up to that. Oh, hey, on the topic of 3D, did you see this? This is so cool. Students made a 3D crosswalk.
Oh, how funny. That's so cool.
Doesn't that look neat? Like, you're going to stop if you see that.
Oh my gosh, it looks like these like cubes are just like floating in the middle of the street.
It's just like an optical illusion.
Oh, that's really cool.
I really like that. So I don't know, creativity. It's fun. Okay, so what have we got to do? We've got Nerd Corner, we've got Platform of the Week, we've got Niche Hunting. Do you want to jump in with Nerd Corner?
Oh yeah, sure.
Are you feeling suitable nerdy?
Yeah, sure. So okay. So let's see.
I'm going to share over to, here we are. Where are we at? We're at Firefox.
Yeah, so I want to talk about today. There is a free service by Firefox called Firefox Send, and it's so cool. So what you do is you upload, if you need to share a file with someone, particularly a large, like a 1 gigabyte file, you can upload it to Firefox Send. They will take that, convert it into a URL, and then you can send that URL to someone else, like Facebook Messenger. And once someone clicks on that URL, the link and all the data automatically disappears. So
it's like secure private file sharing that self-destructs.
Yes.
I wonder what you could use this for. But I think this is pretty powerful. Like,
it's awesome.
How do you think people can use this?
Okay, so I've been using this personally with our customers because people, they get, they run into issues with KDP, and I'm like, well, send me the file and review it. And some people, they don't really want to send it through mail or it's a little slow. So I just send them this link. They can upload their PDF to Firefox and send me the link, and I could download it right away. And then we don't have to worry about it again.
That's pretty awesome.
So there's no file management or anything like that. Prior to this service, I was primarily using Dropbox, which I think is another great service for sharing files and keeping them in the cloud. But this is just so much easier because there's no file management. You just upload a file, you get a link.
And I love that you can send up to 2.5 gigabytes as well. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cas Crossing, can we do a Nerd Corner about all kinds of useful extensions for KDP? Niche hunting. We do niche hunting every week.
We do niche hunting every week.
That's kind of what we try and do. So what we do is each week we do a different way to find niches. So we do have one coming up. So yeah.
We've talked about extensions in the previous show. I was a little more critical on them.
You're like
I'm kind of like, for security reasons, I'm not big on extensions. Just because.
Well, you like your extensions.
Because I know they're safe. I know they're perfectly safe. Other people's, if I download an extension, I like to look through the source code to see if they're doing anything malicious.
Oh, you're like tinfoil hat man.
Yeah.
there is good reason for that though. I've seen some dodgy extensions out there. It's so we'll do niche hunting every week. If we find anything useful, then absolutely we share stuff like that every week. So that's kind of what we do in the show. I had another thing to add on to your nerd corner. I found this website, which I think is pretty cool. It's actually an app, and it's called cluster.co. And one of the things you can do with it, it's kind of like a private Facebook group or a private Tumblr. And what's really nice is you can create a group or multiple groups. You can create as many groups you like, and you can add photos and you can add notes to your group. And what's really cool about it is basically you go on here, you come up with the idea for a group. So I just made this one. This has just got us in it. It's basically 2 members, you and me, and we can post pictures. So like we had this funny picture of Sid in a restaurant with a RuPaul background mural behind him. And I took that picture and posted it in here. And you can also there's a picture of us from my phone screen. I put a note saying, don't forget to buy milk. But you can create private group chats. And it's really nice because it feels kind of like a Facebook group. Yeah. So I thought that you could use this for things like masterminds. If you're kind of in a mastermind with other people and you want to talk privately, this would be a great site to do it on. You could also use it for like maybe working with your VAs, sharing photographs. Like it works really well for photo galleries primarily. Okay. You can also share videos in here. So one thing you could use this for is for training VAs. Like if I'm teaching VAs to do something, I like to make a video like, okay, you can, this is what I need you to do here. If you click on this sort of link, and like you can explain things with a video. So that's another way you can use this. But it's just really cool if you want to create your own private group and share stuff simply with that group. I think this is great. I mean, we're all accustomed to using social media platforms such as Twitter, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr. And so this is great because you still have that same familiarity of making posts, but it's within a private, secured network. And you don't have to deal with the headaches that come with logging onto a platform. Like, okay, what horrible thing am I going to read today? And I think a lot of people are taking Facebook breaks. That's kind of the thing. A lot of people are like, okay, like, I don't know. It's funny. My Facebook feed, I see a lot of people who are just like when people are kind of feeling sad or like having a lot of health issues. And it gets kind of overwhelming when you see a lot of sad things in your Facebook feed. And sometimes I'm like, I sort of it's a bit too much. Yeah, and it's like it's okay when it's like my close friends, and it's so hard because I want to know what my close friends, like people I've known for a long time or family, you want to know what's going on with them. But then it's like, I don't know, I have a lot of Facebook friends, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know who people are. And, especially you. Well, I like you got friends from all over the world. So I don't know. So anyway, that's cluster.co. It's also available as an app. I've got it on my iPhone. And you shared send.firefox. So 2 neat ways to privately share files, share images, and connect with people without having to use Facebook, Tumblr, etc. Right. Yeah. So okay. That's so that's cool. And let me address some of these questions here. Let's see here. Someone asked, do we have other downloadable forms on Tangent templates? No, do we have a plan to add more templates? Yes, we do. We do have a plan on adding more templates. Someone asked, can 3D be done in AI too? Yes, it can. And if you watch my video and you're familiar with AI, it should be pretty self-explanatory. And let's see here. I think you got okay, cool. All right. Rosie says this looks cool. She's looking. She wants to throw some bizarre criteria at Bobcat. Yeah, you know what? It's going to send you bizarre stuff no matter what you do. I've had guitar parts. We had a sweat wiper. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on. I'm confused now. I don't know whether we're doing. Oh, let's do niche hunting.
Okay.
So I had an idea about niche hunting today. So someone was asking in our KDP group today about, I think it was the NHI website, which is like the federal government health website.
Oh, yeah.
And they have like a lot of journal entries and stuff like that. And she said, is this public domain? So I wanted to talk briefly about federal government. And one of the things that's really, really interesting in the US is that any works that are produced by the federal government, by employees of the federal government, in the line of duty of federal government, is in the public domain because it's paid for by taxes.
Oh.
Which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Which means that there's a lot of images, books, literature, text, articles that you can use from different websites from places like NASA, National Oceanographic. I can never pronounce that one. But they do like the oceans. I think it's called the Oceans and Atmospheric Agency. They have some good stuff. They have maps and cool stuff like that. And just a whole bunch of other government websites have public domain content that you can use in your books.
And they're large images
and
too.
Huge. They're beautiful images. They have a lot of information. And I think it's really, really powerful. Oh, that's funny. Joe says he's just learned about cross niches and thought a program that could shoot out different random combinations may be a helpful tool. We actually have that tool. It is called the Tangent Niche Machine. And it is in our Tangent research suite at tangent.rocks. Yeah. So if you visit https://tangent.rocks, there is a video that explains how it works. It's called the Niche Machine. We got
like 16,000 niches. You can mix and match them, and we do a bunch of other cool things.
And Jay, if you're using Tangent templates, send me a message because I've got promo codes. So it also connects with our Magic Formula course, which explains sort of how to use that in a lot of detail. So yeah, that's something we've been doing for quite a while. The idea of, we call it intersecting. We're really big on the idea of intersecting two niches together. But I think there's like 50, I can't remember how many niches there are. There's something like 50,000 niches in there. I think it's more than that actually. Yeah. But there's tens of thousands of niches in there. So really, yeah, you're absolutely on the right lines. Okay, I was talking about, federal government. So the cool thing with federal government is that anything, as I say, produced by the federal government is in the public domain. Now, there are a couple of gotchas with this. There are a couple of like, oh no, you've got to be careful. One is that a lot of government agencies use contractors or third parties to create their work. So you have to always look very carefully at the credits on works on federal government sites. And often they are really bad at labeling where work comes from. So sometimes you do have to email them. And I've emailed so many federal government websites to say, hey, where does this come from? And usually they get back to you. It was a bit slow while they were furloughed. They weren't maintaining websites on some of the agencies. But there is just a wealth of information out there. And one of the sites that I like to go on, and this is one we actually talked about in our Curate course quite a bit, is this. Let me move over to this site. This site is the government bookstore, the US government bookstore. So this is our niche hunting for this week, is the US government bookstore. And the reason I like this site is not everything on this is public domain. However, it can point you in the direction of a lot of great public domain content and information. So last week, we talked about the Mueller report and how you could republish the Mueller report on KDP with some differentiation. So we had like the Mueller report plus cats, and some genius in our KDP group, I can't remember who it was, someone came up with the Mueller report, which I thought was amazing. We said Mueller report with cats. She said the Mueller report, which is just brilliant. But there's all kinds of stuff on here, and you can browse by topic. And I love it because you can, I'm not logged in. That's okay. But I love it because you can browse through different topics like health. So if you were putting together a book on KDP, on say like, I don't know, overcoming depression, for example, you can go and find books on depression. And it will tell you which government agency has more content on a subject like depression. Because there is government information on everything from how to make beer to how to take care of your mental health, maybe with beer, to, like all kinds of things. So what I love, you can actually go and browse different agencies, like Department of Education. They have tons of stuff. So you can click, go and browse Department of Education and see all of the things they are publishing. And what I love about the bookstore, it kind of tells you what's popular. It tells you what people are actually willing to buy or download. And a lot of these documents or information, you can go and hunt them down on their website and actually find them for free. So like, I remember a while back, someone did a NASA handbook. They got a handbook on how to build a moon lander or something. And they'd got it from NASA's website, downloaded it, but they turned it into a beautiful book. They made it a hardback book. They didn't publish it through KDP. They did like a Kickstarter on it.
Okay.
And they added images and color to it and made it like a really nice book. And I think they were selling it for like $60, $70 on Kickstarter, but it's a public domain text. So you could totally like publish these kind of things. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Andrew asked a good question. He says, living in the UK, can I use these government resources? That's an interesting question, because I know they're in the public domain, basically because US users pay their taxes on them. I believe you can, because I mean, you're publishing it on KDP, which is an American site, but I don't know for sure. So that's actually a really good question, Andrew. I'm pretty sure you can.
I believe the answer is yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure
public
you can.
domain's public domain.
It varies in different jurisdictions.
You mean it's only exclusive to members of the country?
Yes.
Is that really?
Yeah, different countries have different public domain rules. However, I think you can, but you might want to double check on that. I need to check that. I'm pretty sure you can, but something in my brain.
In the US here, we kind of live in a bubble, so we just think about US stuff with US citizens and USA, right?
You know, I need to double check that. I'm pretty sure you can, but I would like. I don't feel confident saying 100% yes.
So okay, because I found there's a lot of great public domain stuff from other countries. Like other countries have great social services, and they've invested in large amounts of public domain images and content.
Yeah, if it's like a museum, then usually like museums are like, if it's in the public domain internationally. Okay. So it's fine. But sometimes what's in the public domain does kind of vary a little bit between countries. Okay. But I think you'd probably be okay with US federal government stuff. So, but do check. So yeah, anyway, this is the website. It's bookstore.gpo.gov. I love it because you can browse like new releases, bestsellers. So you can see what people are really, in fact, let's do that. Let's see what the bestsellers are. I might need to be logged in. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, cool. Great. So you can see here, look, there's like a lead safe guide to renovations, service award certificates. That's a funny one. That's not really books. Declaration of Independence and Constitution. That's like a perennial book that you're going to be able to download. And interstate natural gas facility on my land. Like what I love about this, and we're talking about niche hunting and finding niches. Whenever I browse the US government bookstore, I always just come up against things that I never even thought of before. Like, oh, that's a good idea. See, now there's a good one. The naturalization interview and test. Oh yeah. I probably have to do that. It says that's a DVD. That's pretty cool. So you can get a DVD. Book about the flag, military review. Like you can see, there's just a whole bunch of Coast Guard ideas there. Yeah, so that's our niche hunting for this week, which is the US bookstore. Oh yeah. Oh, the Peter Pan. Peter Pan is just a completely weird one. That's wacky. Andrew says, is it like the Peter Pan book in the USA, which is public domain in the USA? It's not public domain in the UK. Yeah, Peter Pan is like a complete outlier. I think what happened with Peter Pan is that somehow the Great Ormond Street Hospital, which is a children's hospital in the UK, managed to get rights to Peter Pan, which should, by all rules, be in the public domain. Yeah. It was published many, many years ago. However, there's actually a specific law called like the Peter Pan law in the UK that specifically excludes Peter Pan from the public domain and says that all royalties go to the Great Ormond Street Hospital.
It was such a good story that they.
I think there was just I don't know how they swung it, but that's how it worked out. So Peter Pan is just a really, really weird one. If you're selling to the UK, I would avoid Peter Pan. But other than that, yeah, generally, if something's published before 1924 in the US, you're good to go. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that was our niche hunting of the week, which was the US government bookstore. Okay, wow, we're moving on quickly. So, you put cool stuff here. Do you want to do your Avengers thing?
Oh yeah. Okay. So, unless you're living in under a rock,
like me,
the new Avengers movies is now out. It's supposed to have a really big opening weekend, and
are you going to see
the Endgame? I probably will. Maybe next week when the crowd dies down. I'm not really big on opening nights. When I was younger, I loved it, but now I'm kind of like, yeah. So Google, they have a cool little feature, and if you
Hold on. I'm getting that. Yeah. I'm getting that. I don't want everyone to see my search history because you don't know. You never know what's
very
in there.
Dangerous stuff. So a little cool Google Easter egg.
I think that's the right way. There we go. Are we in the right place? No, I'm
no.
not. Hold on. Oh, I'm not very good at the technology, Isaac. Hold on. Oh, there it is.
There you go. Okay.
Gosh.
So if you Google Thanos, hit return.
Yeah.
And click on the hand.
Whoa.
So I won't do it now because.
No, do it.
Do it. Okay. I guess we'll kill the little surprise.
Okay. Whoa.
Snaps his finger.
Whoa. Whoa.
And pages just.
Whoa. What's happening? We're not touching
disappear.
Anything. It's disappearing.
So funny. It's in honor of the movie.
Whoa. That's pretty funny.
I love it when Google does stuff like this.
Okay.
Yes.
You just wanted to share that.
I did. No reason whatsoever other than just the laugh.
Wow, that's you just do it for the lulz.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. I wanted to talk about platform of the week. So platform of the week, I did kind of an obvious one, which is, let's move over, Buzzfeed. I really like Buzzfeed. I think it's just, well, you know what it was? I actually kind of had like show creators blog. But I'm like, I don't know what to talk about this week. There's so many things going on. I don't know what to talk about. So one place I go to just sort of get ideas and think is Buzzfeed. Just because I feel like Buzzfeed kind of puts you down with the kids. You know what's going on with the young people. And it just, I don't know, it kind of gets you in tune with what's going on. So I like Buzzfeed because it's basically a lot of lists of cool things. And I noticed like just things like puppies, like Billie Eilish plays with puppies while answering questions. I mean, like, why just have an interview when you could be playing with a puppy?
With puppies, yeah.
And that's what makes the video more interesting than if it was just a straight interview. And it's funny because this kind of goes back to Jay's idea of intersecting niches. Like, yeah, everyone wants to see Billie Eilish if they're a fan of hers. But if
she's huge right now.
But if you're not really into her and you're just mildly curious, the puppies are probably.
Oh, well, there's puppies, right?
Like, great. The other thing I like is slang. That it gets you in touch with loads of slang. Like, look at this chubby doggy, and it's like, look at those thickums.
Thickums, is that wow?
You know, this double C. I'm seeing this everywhere. I keep seeing people talk about now. This sounds kind of offensive.
Sure.
So in my culture, if you say someone's thick, it means they're not very bright.
Oh,
however,
like dense kind of.
Right. But I'm seeing in some groups I'm in, they're like, yeah, I love thick girls. And thick's like another word for like curvy.
Sure.
But they spell it with 2 C's. And I'm seeing that everywhere. I wonder if anyone's registered it as a trademark because it just
with 2 C's.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Why is it an acronym or just
that's just what people do, kind of like this. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, thickums. It's like thick girls or thick whatever, or it's like a thing. People are into this. So
that's it.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's the first time I've heard of this. Wow.
So I don't know. I think that BuzzFeed is just a fun place to go find some ideas. Now, the other thing with BuzzFeed is you can actually create your own lists. So here's one. I made this back in 2017. So when the Unicorn Frappuccino came out, I actually made my own list for BuzzFeed. This is a list I created for BuzzFeed. And the way you do that is you go to community.buzzfeed.com. I just found all the unicorn gifs I could and put them into a list. But if you're clever with this, you can actually make your own BuzzFeed list and promote stuff. Like, you can't technically use it for promoting, but you can kind of point people in the direction of things that you would like people to look at.
Oh, that's
and you can kind of build up an audience with BuzzFeed and become a member of the community and become a contributor. So it's kind of crowdsourced.
Yeah.
And basically, if you make really good lists on BuzzFeed, then you can sort of get brought into the community, become an official BuzzFeeder, and so on. So it's actually kind of a fun. And the other thing is, even if you don't get picked up by BuzzFeed, even if they don't like it that much, you can still create these lists and share them on your own website with your own fans. So like, if you're an author, there's nothing to stop you making a BuzzFeed list about your book or about the world of your book.
Oh, yeah.
So think about this for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what you posted about earlier today, about with the swords.
Oh, with swords. Oh, yeah. So, let's talk about that briefly. Okay, so I posted in Curate today. So I saw this comment on someone's page on Geek Girls. And I thought this was really funny because she goes, I really think we should normalize sword gifting as a romantic gesture. And then she sort of went on with it. Can you imagine having to go to the finest blacksmith and get someone to customize a blade for you, showing their undying love and respect?
It's like flashback to the Renaissance fair or something.
Right. But you know what I think is interesting about this? People look at popular games, popular TV shows, and they're like, oh, how can I use this? I know like Game of Thrones is the biggest TV show at the moment. How can I ride off that without infringing copyright? And it's tough because like most TV shows, most video games, they're like the most popular things around, but also they are completely locked down on copyright and trademarks. However, what you can do is you can look at things like the world of a TV show. You can look at the character archetypes in a TV show. So for example, if there's like, I don't know, like a cop show is really popular, you could look at like how I don't know, suddenly maybe like cops become a trending thing, or like detectives or private investigators. And suddenly everyone wants to be a private investigator because there's like a cool private investigator in a particular show you watch. You can look at things like what kind of animals are in the show. Like if there's like wolves, if there's like stuff like that. Sorry, there's like Jeff Bezos, the billionaire. I don't think so. But you can look at other things like the world, objects in the show, rituals that show up in the show. Just look at different things that appear in. Oh, sorry, guys. I was just clicking some stuff on here. Let's see.
The trolls are coming.
I know that all the trolls just show up at once. It's like one of those things. Okay, guys. I can put you on high.
Nice try, trolls.
At least they're not kind of being mean to me today.
Right.
We'll see.
All right.
Cool. So we talked about. Okay, we've got them.
Okay.
So we talked about Thanos. That was pretty cool. We talked about like Game of Thrones and how you can use ideas from the world. And I think another example of this is one of the things we did for Halloween was we did Fallout candy. Oh yeah, that was awesome. So of course the video game Fallout, it's like a copyrighted video game. You can't really mess with that. Thanks, Jeff. I'm here to troll your motion pictures. But what you can do is you can look at the themes. You can look at the products, the objects that are in a show or in a game. So we made like radioactive candy. So it doesn't reference Fallout. It doesn't make any sort of connection with that. But what it does is it kind of hooks into how people are excited about that game. It's like zombies, right? When Walking Dead comes out, it's like everyone gets into zombies. But zombies aren't like specific to Walking Dead. But then suddenly you have zombie runs, you have like run zombies run, and all of those things.
It's just a huge genre.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one popular show to popularize the whole genre.
Right. So think in terms of genre is basically what. So what if you've just joined us? What we're talking about is people asking about how they can use TV shows and video games and movies and how they can use those ideas to create their own products. And we're saying, well, you can't rip off copyrighted IP. You can't rip off other people's IP, but you can use genres and you can make all kinds of things. And it's funny because you go and look in like the bookstore and people literally write to genre. So there's like all these like werewolf books or billionaire books or like whatever it is. So yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay, so we've done, I think we're about there actually.
Okay.
Oh, we've got we did the cool stuff, which you did Thanos. Oh yeah, the last thing. Okay. So big debate.
Big debate.
Are we ready for the big debate?
Let me sip on some
I know. This is kind of like a cup of tea.
Morocco tea.
Oh, is that what you've got in your Ember cup?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wait, I need to stop sharing because there we go. Okay, we're there. Whoa, I love this shooting star, but it kind of disturbs me how it just sort of hangs there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like we're frozen in time.
You know, the Mother's Day show, the Mother's Day class we did. Yeah. Someone was asking if we can show them how we made that with all the moving stuff behind. Is that like your magic, or is that something you might share? Oh, you don't want to share. That's pretty cool. Cool. Okay, so our big debate. Now, someone asked in the group. Actually, it came up twice in our KDP group. People said, are print on demand saturated, specifically merch and KDP? And I think this is such an interesting question. Do you have thoughts?
I do, but speak.
Okay. So they said, are these platforms saturated? And I think it's okay. Here's where I'm coming from. T-shirts and books have been around forever. T-shirts and books are going to be around forever. People are going to continue to make money off T-shirts and books, or at least clothing and books one way or another, because people are always going to need clothing and books.
Yeah.
Right? So the answer is there's always an opportunity. If you have a platform where you can take money in some form or another, even if it's just putting a PayPal button on something or whatever it is, you can make money from that platform. However, there's like low-hanging fruit and easy picking fruit, and then there's more challenging running a business.
Right.
And so my question, first of all, is like, is there a business that is not saturated? Like whatever you're selling, someone else is probably out there doing it, unless you create your own niche. You create your own product, which is always possible. I mean, like suddenly you've got a pooping unicorn doll or whatever it is. There's always room to create new products. However, like there's not really like easy pickings in business.
If there is an easy picking, it's probably not going to last very long. I mean, like Jeff saying, like, I like fruit that falls on the ground. The problem with the fruit that falls on the ground is that once you pick it up, that's it. Right.
And so it's like, I think merch particularly had a honeymoon period.
Oh, it was awesome
like,
in the beginning.
When merch started, it was like, okay, you can just upload T-shirts and they're probably going to sell. If they're any good, you're probably going to see sales on them. The problem with merch is I think there's really there's been a kind of method that is like, just like, look at what's already popular, improve on it, upload it, and keep. And the problem is, right, if you're like in California where the cost of living is insane, like competing on a platform doing the same business model as people who are in like other countries where the cost of living is very low,
cheaper.
That's kind of crazy. So it's like you need to find a different business strategy. And I feel the same is true for KDP. Now, KDP is a bit different from merch. One of the ways that KDP is different from merch is that you have a lot more, like you can put a lot more in a book. Like a T-shirt, you have one square. Whatever you put in that square, that's your design. That's pretty much it. with KDP, you can fill it up with, like literally, you can put anything in a book, from the Bible to Harry Potter to 50 Shades of Grey to a planner book, to whatever, to a coloring book. There are always going to be new things. I mean, books have been around for like how many thousands of years, and like you can still put books out there. But I think what becomes saturated is not the platform, it's not the product, it's the model.
Yeah,
it's like the business model or strategy you're following. Oh wait, am I? Oh, there we go. So I think my suggestion is think about how you can be creative, because whatever you are doing in business right now, you are competing on the world stage. Like in 2019, it's like you're taking on the whole world. Like if you create something, you have to compete on the world stage. So you have to stand out, you have to be creative. And there are so many ways to be creative, whether you're doing KDP, whether you're doing merch. My thought is to see the platforms as tools. Like KDP allows you to make a book. Merch allows you to make a t-shirt and sell it. But I think what's saturated is relying on organic search, solely on organic search. So what you need to do is be creative in how you reach your audience, in the message that you give to your audience, in maybe your own branding, how you sort of portray yourself, how you put your personality across. You have choices in how you deliver products to people, on the platforms you use to sell to people. Like there are a lot of variables involved in running a business. Now, the other thing to look at with things like KDP is that you don't just have to rely on selling organically on Amazon. There are a lot of ways to sell books. You can bundle books with other products. So for example, you can make like a spell book, like Tangent Templates. We have a spell paper. You can create a spell book and sell that with crystals via Amazon Custom, via FBA, via Etsy, eBay. You can probably get creative with even things like Facebook Marketplace. Like there's a lot of selling platforms. So you don't have to be totally reliant on just the organic search on Amazon. And the same is kind of true for t-shirts. And you can also make connections with people. You can connect with people who have an audience, like social media influencers. You can connect with people who sell subscription boxes. I know Jordan came in our group about a year or two ago, and he talked about how he'd sold his coloring book through a subscription box. I think he got like 500 sales in one go because he did it through a subscription box. You can talk to brick and mortar stores. You can talk to your school. Like, does your local school need yearbooks? Like, there are so many business models with KDP, with merch, that you don't kind of have to be competing with people who are uploading like 1,000 automated t-shirts or books a day from Vietnam. Like, you can kind of build your own business and build your own model. And my other thought about that is sustainability. Like, I really, really think sustainability is important, because when you look at like creating an audience, creating a brand, then you're not just tied to creating books or creating t-shirts. Like, once you have your audience, you can create all kinds of products for that audience. You can understand that audience and their needs, their interests, and so on. So I don't know, do you want to fight me on this? It's the big debate.
No, I agree with you. I mean, yeah, things change. That's business in general. Sometimes things are going to be super easy. Sometimes they get difficult. They go up and down. And also it's going to be different for every individual too. Some people, people are saying KDP is now overly saturated. There's a lot of people coming out overly saturated, but yet you still have a few people that are doing successful, and they're not using the copy and improve method. They're not doing a lot of it.
And my other question would be, what's the alternative? Like, I mean, if you're working to make money, or you're, or I'm reading Kate's thing. Are you two creating KDP books actively right now? Yes, I am. In fact, wait, I've got the one that you have it. There you go. That's the one that Isaac actually made and showed last week. And you can see that our son like wrote in it. So yeah, absolutely, we are making books actively.
Yeah.
I make quite a lot of books actually because I'm testing.
She does a lot more.
So yeah, we still create books.
Not as much as I like.
Well, it's not like our full-time thing,
right? I spend most of my days as actually behind a code editor, working on improvements.
You're pretty much programming.
I'm a programmer by trade, so that's what I do most of my time is programming. I don't talk about it very often, but that's what I do.
I test a lot of one of the books I made a book about a week ago, and it's sold 5 organic copies, so I'm really happy with that. That's like I'm always testing kind of new niches and ideas. I've been doing quite a few adult books, which the problem with adult books is that you can't advertise them, which is kind of a bummer. You can't use AMS to advertise them. But I am finding those sell pretty well. So that's one thing I'm doing. But yeah, we're creating KDP books and doing all kinds of things. So, and and the other thing, and this kind of leads in from what we were talking about business and sustainability. I feel we've never stuck 100% to one business. No. I mean, at the moment, KDP is like doing great for us from our own books, and we're also seeing how well people in the community are doing. Like our group just hit 9,000 people today, and people are just still posting. Yeah, we're selling lots of books. We're doing great. Yay, Jeff said it pays his Starbucks bill. So I mean, as long as people are making money with something and it's successful, we're going to keep working on it, teaching it. But we're like a little bit ADD, that I'm always looking around for like, okay, what other methods are there to make money? And that's why I'm like very genuine when people go, oh, KDP's saturated, or FBA is saturated, or merch is saturated. I'm like, okay, what's the alternative? What are you going to do about that? Because it's like, okay, well, fine, you can go get a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you are kind of dedicated to being an entrepreneur, and a lot of us have strong reasons for entrepreneurialism, for wanting to be at home. Maybe you've got kids to take care of, or elderly parents to take care of, whatever it is that you probably have a reason. If you stay home to work, you probably have a reason for that. So very seriously, I always look at like, okay, what other opportunities are out there? And I know people talk a lot about multiple streams of income, which I think is awesome if you can make it work. I also think it can be a huge distraction. It can be really, really hard to keep multiple streams of income actually kind of going, like it's like spinning plates. So I don't know if I, like we do still have stuff selling on merch. I still have stuff on Amazon that sells. And I even eBay occasionally. Like I still kind of have a finger in everything, but we try and focus more on our brand, on building up Tangent, on building up the products that we've made, our courses, like speaking and doing public speaking. All of those are kind of part of our brand. So at the center of it, I really think that the key to sustainability is building a brand, building an audience, because then you can create any product. Like you can work with anyone to create products, whether it's software, whether it's courses, whether it's like whatever it is that you want to work on, books, T-shirts. You can make things that represent your brand. And the cool thing with a brand is it's intellectual property. Like people can try and copy you, but if you do it right, if you build a brand well, you end up with fans. You end up with people who are loyal and want to buy from you because it's you. They trust the quality that you're going to produce. And I see this with the style that you produce it. Right. And I see it with clothes. I see it with perfume. I see it with everything, like necklaces, with courses, with people teaching things. There's certain people you just want to buy from, or you want to learn from. And I think by focusing on what you can do that's unique, your special voice, like your unique voice, your personality, if you can inject that into your brand, it kind of secures your place in business. It makes your business sustainable, because you can keep creating products, you can keep building your audience, you can keep working with your audience to see what they need from you, how you can help them. And I mean, I feel like everything we've done has kind of organically come from our audience. Like we created Tangent templates as a response to what people were asking us for. and what we saw people
Yeah,
doing.
we have a closed group that, you know, people pay for our courses. They get in the closed group, and we offered a couple of templates. People kept asking us, hey, can you add more? Can you add more? Can you add more? Finally, I had this idea to build this template system and all the various trim sizes that CreateSpace offered. And we, you know, at the last minute, we decided to make it into a very affordable product, and it's kind of expanded from that.
Jeff says he has too many streams of income now, and one stream is overwhelming the others. So I think that's kind of, I think that's very natural. Like if you have multiple streams, yeah, it's very likely that at some point one of them is going to take higher priority.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that's interesting. Luxury Card Store says if you don't have multiple sources of income and the one source you do have falls off a cliff, you're toast. That, you see, it's a good question, and it's like, do you put all your eggs in one basket?
It's the same thing if you have a day job. You have an awesome day job, and then you know,
right. And I think that's something.
Your department gets cut, and now you're back at the drawing board.
And I think that's something really important. It's like people are like, well, a job security, and it's like a job is kind of like one stream of income. Like when you think about it, it's like your job could end next week. And honestly, I look at like the job market and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I feel it's really risky to go and work for someone else.
Right.
Like I don't see that as security. I see kind of building our own.
The one thing I would say is that one thing you can continually build upon is your skills. Mm-hmm. You can always improve in your skills. So if you're selling POD products, whatever method you use to create POD products, that's transferable to other product lines, going into other niches. So that's why I'm a very advocate for teaching people to do things the most professional way possible. You know, people ask me about, can I learn this program? Can I teach this program? I stick to Photoshop because I think Photoshop is the best program that you can use for print on demand products. Now that's my opinion. Other people might have others, but my goal is to get you making sure that your skills are the best they can possibly be.
And I think investing in yourself is like key to everything, like education, teaching yourself skills. Like the cool thing is, I mean, if you learn to design t-shirts, then you find like, okay, my t-shirt sales slowed down. You can turn those skills into designing books.
Yep. You
can turn those skills into designing like necklaces or like bed covers or whatever it is, curtains. You can make all kinds of things. So oh, Jeff says Illustrator is the best for POD.
You know, Illustrator
is
part of Adobe, and you know, whatever works best for you. I'm actually, I spent my first year as a graphic designer mainly in Illustrator than Photoshop. So I have a very.
I think what you're saying is like use the most professional tools that you can, and spending the time, like investing the time in learning good tools, is something you can transfer to anything.
Yeah, from my personal opinion, you're going to get a lot more mileage with Photoshop than you will with Illustrator. Illustrator's awesome. You can do some cool stuff. You can get a lot of mileage with Canva, but they all have limitations.
Canva has some limitations, but honestly it's great if you're a newbie and you just need something to stick pictures together quickly. Like I don't know, you can take one skill and go a lot of places with it.
Yeah.
So think about sustainability, think about your business as a whole, think about your brand. Like don't just think about products. Like merch or KDP aren't business models, they're platforms and they're tools.
Yeah.
Find your own business model. That's like, use those tools, use those platforms. They're incredibly powerful platforms.
And find one that works for you, because everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's gonna, you know, maybe someone they're offering an affiliate link, so they're going to tell you this product is the best product ever. Maybe someone they're going to sell you a course, so they're going to tell you this method's the best thing.
They're going to pop up on your YouTube videos.
Yeah, and kind of troll you. Right. You know, find what works for you. It's really simple. I mean, there's so many options out there, and find, you know, your skill sets, you know what you're capable of doing, you know how many hours of a day you want to put into this. Figure out what's best for you.
Absolutely. I mean, like business, it's business. You've got to work at it and find your method. It's fun. It's fun, but you have to be creative. And I think the problem is if the barriers to entry are too low, then competition is going to come in quick, and you've got to find your way to stay ahead of the crowd.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's always going to be how it is. So yeah. Yeah, I'm reading Luxury Card Store. She lives in a right to work state. It's an oxymoron. Right to work means the employer is allowed to fire you without any reason. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, a job is not the security it once was. I mean, we were talking about this, like even with like colleges and things like that. It's like it's competitive. Everything is competitive now. So the best thing you can do is just build up your skills, build up your interests, your general knowledge, get as much education as you can from anywhere, whether it's like Udemy, whether it's an online college, whether you go to a class. The other thing I find is that like the more I go out and learn, the more ideas I have, and the more I try and teach it back to people. If I make videos, if I make classes, I find I get more ideas and I learn more doing that. So I just invest in yourself. I think that's like brilliant advice when you said just like focus on your skills
and find what you're really good at. Like there's going to be one thing that you're exceptionally good at, better than most people, like, and use that to your advantage. Whiskey. Right, drinking whiskey. I mean, it's like when you apply for college, they want to see one thing that stands out.
Right.
One thing that stands out. And so I know, like,
what's unique about you? What can you do that's special and that draws people to you? And I think that's the other.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if you're enthusiastic enough about something, if you love something, whether it's surfing, whether it's cats, whatever it is, one of the things, just like use your interest, use what it is you love. And the funny thing is, when you're enthusiastic enough about something, people will come and join you. Like I think that's basically what happened with treasure hunting, which was really the first big Facebook group we created. I think we were just really enthusiastic, and people were like, great, I want in on this. This is fun. And whoa, we're making money too. And so I think enthusiasm goes a long way.
Absolutely. You gotta, yeah.
Okay, so we are coming up to 5 o'clock. Oh my gosh, that was a good debate. I love how our debates are like, oh, let's get controversial. Then we're like, yeah, everything's good. Everything's cool. it's always good. Keep it positive. Keep it positive. All right, guys. So what did we talk about today? We had Nerd Corner. We talked about Firefox Send. We talked about Cluster, which are both private sort of methods for sharing files, sharing pictures, sharing videos. Our platform of the week was Buzzfeed. We had Buzzfeed was our platform of the week. We talked about how you can use it to find niches, to find trends, what's trending at the moment, and also that you can create your own Buzzfeed lists, especially if you have maybe a book or something where you want to share the world with people. Make a Buzzfeed list about the world of your book. Very powerful. Our niche hunting for this week was the US federal government bookstore, bookstore.gpo.gov. A great place to find public domain content, to find ideas for government information that you can repurpose, differentiate, and create your own books with. We had cool stuff, was Googling Thanos.
Yes.
We talked about how to use copyrighted shows, games, by using the genres and using the idea of genre, character archetypes, objects, places, rituals, and use those ideas instead of copyrighted intellectual property. If you want to sort of jump on trends and do things to do with trends. And we had our big debate on whether print on demand is saturated. And the answer is print on demand is just a tool. Create your own business model within that. There are a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of options. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Come and join us if you haven't in our KDP group. If you're interested in publishing, it's at facebook.com/groups/Amazon Create Space. Also, buy Tangent Templates. It's awesome.
And going back to the trilogy of Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Yes, Tangent Templates. I did include the original Illustrator and InDesign files for our 48 static templates.
That's pretty awesome.
I did that on purpose so you guys can take what I've started and build on top of it.
Yeah, we want you to customize your books.
Absolutely.
We really do. We want you to make your books awesome, stand out from the crowd, and have a lot of success with them. All right, guys, have a good one. We will talk to you soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.